This episode is powered by Safety FM.
This podcast is being sponsored by safetyconsultantblueprint.com.
In this week's episode, we'll talk about setting up a company profile and starting a group in social media such as LinkedIn and Facebook.
Do you want to be a safety consultant? Listen to Dr. Jay Allen of Safety FM give his experience after taking the Safety Consultant Blueprint course.
But I really think that you have a genuine good product there that can really assist people if they're interested in becoming a safety consultant.
Register for the Safety Consultant Blueprint at www.safetyconsultantblueprint.com. Enter code PODCAST for a special discount.
Welcome to another episode of the Safety Consultant Podcast with Sheldon Primus. And in this podcast, I show you the business of being a safety consultant, as well as if you are the person who has the safety consulting responsibility in your organization, then I give you that information that you will need for your business. All right. So this week I'm thinking a little bit about the marketing side. So what I was really going to do was to tell you the importance of groups. So you got Facebook groups, you got LinkedIn groups, you got all these different types of social media groups. I don't know if they actually do Twitter or not like that. I don't recall that, but I do recall that they have like events where people could listen or at least read live feeds. So maybe Instagram might, I don't know, have to branch out into that too. But I'm going to stick with what I know. And right now I know Facebook and LinkedIn, and that's what we're going to kind of focus on. So first, let's start with Facebook, because that one is a little bit of a easy win. So once you do that, get your Facebook set up, and it's going to be pretty much two things. You want to set up a company page, so that, public hours, everything else. So set up your own company page where people could like your company on Facebook. So make sure you do that. And then the other thing is you want to have some sort of social media reach. So that reach is going to be closer to, or I should say better, if you get a group of people that have the same kind of interests or concerns. So you get them together in a group. Sometimes you can name it your company name. You could do whatever you need to with this one, but I did that with OSHA Compliance Help because the name of the company said OSHA Compliance Help. Everybody was like, all right, those are something I know and I need. So I got a lot of people outside of my circle of influence that went ahead and liked the page and started following OSHA Compliance Help. And then I decided to do a few others with other businesses I had, just different names. And I decided, well, let me create a group to go with my safety consultant idea. This same thing that the podcast developed out of, get the Facebook group and the podcast course, the safety consulting course, all kind of, working together at the same time. So I decided to create this group too. So I know for sure people who were in this group were either going to be safety consultants themselves, or they know somebody that's a safety consultant and they may have safety responsibilities, or it could be just someone who plays the role of a safety consultant in their job. So that's why I created this group, just so that we could share information. So I started this in... I actually can't remember that much, so I'm gonna I've got it up, and if you wanted to go to it, you'll go to facebook.com/groups with an S /safety consultant and no S, and then you'll find us. It's a closed group, so you would have to know that in order to find us. So it looks like I created it July 12th, 2017, and my idea again was just to have one place for safety consultants to talk back and forth, get references, get ideas, get help. And I would do a little mentoring on the side at the same time, just by free videos and everything else that comes up. So within that time period to now, it is 1,200 members, and it's international. There's many of international countries that are represented in this group now. That's from all over, and they're very active, talking back and forth. Some funny stuff, some serious stuff, some questions about what to do in certain scenarios, and we're as a group answering everything back. So it's not something that is just me giving you dropping stuff. It's basically the group helping and working together, so we're all kind of helping out. So the idea was, on your Facebook page, you'll look at the create a button or whatever you get to your computer, and once you click on that, you have your options of creating a page. You can make an ad, you can make a group, you can create an event, a listing for if you're selling something, fundraiser. You could do all that with that one little button. So with that button, I focus on page groups. So the heading for page was connect and share with customers or fans. And then the heading of groups is find people with shared interest. So if someone is interested in your actual philosophy in safety and health, start a group with that. Or if it's something specific to an industry like process safety management or something of that effect, and a lot of people do it locally. So they'll be like, right now I'm in Ocala, Florida. It would be like Ocala, Florida's safety and health group. So you become the pseudo, or no, not even pseudo. You become the person who is in charge, which there's the moderator of that group. You put up your terms, your agreements, and you let people in or out if it's a closed group. There's some that are secret groups. They'll never even be mentioned in a directory. You just have to know the link. And then there's the regular public groups. So you set it however you want. And then by people finding the group or people that you refer to this group that they are interested in specifically what you're interested in. So by default, that meaning is they are your perfect customer. If that's what your group is about, is if there's a service or a product that you're promoting, they're actually promoting it to people that have already been vetted through you, or friends of a friend's kind of referral, and then they get into the group that way. So now you know that everyone that you're talking to, not all the time, but it's a high percentage that the people you're talking to in this group that you created can also be people that will end up using your services later or buying a product. So it's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's what these groups are set up for, and in some cases, you really have to, you have to be creative in some of the groups that you create, because you don't want anything group-wise that's going to end up being spam, me. You gotta have some give and take, but at some point, it's okay if you're going to, and this is your own group now, promote something with your own product or service. So that to me has always been something that I do. And if you see the group I just pointed you to, the Safety Consulting Group, there's literally 2, maybe 3 times ever since I started that group in 2017 that I either had to pull something or it was something that the person was, every word out of their mouth as they're typing back comments had to do with their product or service. So, in that case, I had to make a decision as the moderator to make sure the group is going to be protected from that type. But I'm very loose on the promoting side, so you'll see a lot of people promoting things. And I figured for me, that's what the group I wanted to do. It's just so that everyone has a venue, if you will, if they need it, to see if someone else is interested in what they are, and so what they're doing. So that was the idea. So if you get a chance, go ahead and look that one up. But better yet, start your own and create something that is going to be fun for you. So if it's 100% business where you're about to sell a product and that's all you're going to allow yourself to talk about within that group, it's not going to work that well. So you have to be insert your personality, insert who you really want everyone to see you as, who is yourself, obviously. So just do that, and then let everything else come out organically as to when is the time to promote. And sometimes I'm more active in the groups than others. So again, this is something that you're going to do for yourself. Find that sweet spot. Find anything that'll work good for you in the Facebook company group. And the company, people are going to like your page, and you could 100% sell services and everything else on that one, because that's specifically about your company, and that's what you do. So there, anytime you have a product or a promotion or anything else on your company page, that's where it goes. That's your marketing strategy. So get people to like that page as much as you can, and then when you get your actual promotion, at that point, you're targeting people that already know you. So that's the key to get in that know you, like you, trust you cycle. So every post shouldn't be something that is just promotion, but put it in regularly, like whenever you have anything going, and then do the rest with whatever service tips you may have, or research, or anything that may come up as a resource for them. Then go ahead and use your page, your company page, that way as well. And then the group's a little bit more of an intimate setting in the group, meaning that you will probably interact with everybody a little bit more, and maybe some live streaming and video, and get a good feel for what will be good for your group. And then give them that. If they want PowerPoint presentations, or they want webinars or something, you could work that as a Facebook Live, and that's pretty much a webinar. And then you could do that through your own group with your own promotion at that point. So after that Facebook Live, you promote whatever you're promoting, and you have the audience that is interested in that. So you don't feel like you're pushing it on somebody. You're actually in an audience that raised their hand and said, hey, we believe in whatever your group is enough to want to be part of it. So this is information, this is resource that they need and want. So that's my take on that one. So that was the Facebook side. Then you got the other side, which is LinkedIn. So LinkedIn, you want to get your profile all set up. Man, I remember years ago, I did an actual article in Treatment Plant Magazine, TPO magazine, and I wonder if it's still there. I'm going to look it up while I'm recording. So what that is with the TPO magazine article that I'm about to look up, hopefully still there. If you look for it, it's tpomag.com. This in the search box hits Sheldon Primus, and all the articles I've ever written for that company should show up. So if you find this, basically it is a cheat sheet for LinkedIn. And it's several years ago, but it's still applicable today. And let's tell you the same thing as I did with Facebook. Let's start with that. I had a little momentary memory lapse there about where we were. So first we're going to start with your company profile. So get your company profile up. Make sure that profile's in there. And same thing. Definitely you want to make sure that you're giving some sort of resources, some sort of benefit for them to be part of your company page. Whoever it is going to follow your company. And then do all your promotions there too. So it's a 2-4 there. Don't feel guilty about doing your promotion. That's where people have raised their hands and said, hey, we want to be part of the company. So that is it. So this article, I did find it is June 18th, 2015 is when I wrote this article for Treatment Plant Magazine about getting wastewater operators to get involved in LinkedIn, explained what a connection was and how to build your profile page, and just other things to look through. And one of the things that is in there that you should look through are groups. So find groups that you like, network in the group, be a contributor in those groups. That's exactly what it's there for. And then start your own group. So I again started one here. OSHA Compliance Help was the name of the group. And then the other one was a Wastewater Management Compliance and Safety Resource Group. So those two groups together, I started on LinkedIn. And I do both the wastewater side and the occupational safety and health side. This was my way to bridge those two things. So I created the Wastewater Management Compliance Resource Group and then the OSHA Compliance Help Group. So I managed those two different groups together on LinkedIn. And I think one of them's got, I don't know, the wastewater group probably has like 700 members in it. And then the other group, probably we might be rounding up to 1,000 by now. And I can't remember when I started those, but it's been really good in that it gives you a one-on-one idea of what people are looking for services as well as what's on their mind. So in some cases, I get to answer questions that I would for private clients in a public format if I'm asked, and it shows a little bit, it's like a taste of what you could do. So that's what it boils down to. So you in both LinkedIn format, Facebook format, if you start doing another format that, is up and coming, the idea is, you want to make sure that you're giving the resources, support that people need, comments, and then posting things as resources from your own mind. And this gets them putting you in the idea of being the professional, which you are, and therefore it can also translate to someone saying, hey man, would you mind speaking at my company safety days? All right, cool, I'll do that. Or hey, why don't you come over here and participate in this event? We'll give you whatever, a booth or something like that. It's perfectly fine to barter things like that because sometimes you don't have the flat out cash to get it right away, so might as well barter, right? Use that system and barter some actual time as being a safety presenter at whatever the event is, or the opportunity to get a booth, or if they're paying for your actual flight and hotel and everything else, that's fine. That's your payment right there. So that's definitely one of the things when you're starting out you look for, and then eventually you start getting paid, and that comes in time. So don't worry about that part yet. But the Facebook and the LinkedIn groups that you're going to set up, that is going to be your canvas of work. It's going to be almost like a home base that is outside of your website. Eventually, you do need to get people in to your funnel, is what they call it. And that funnel, which is sales funnel, is the full term. It's getting people through that know you, like you, trust you phase. So what you can do then is, as soon as you have your groups, or if you want to get somebody to get to your website or get to your emails, there's a few ways of doing that. But from the groups, normally what people will do will write a blog post. So most blog posts are about 700 words, and they're about a topic without much promotion, if any at all. And it's just flatly on the topic that is being covered during that topic of the blog post. And then they might do this. Sometimes they'll do a link after halfway in the story and say, for more, read more here. And then they click over to the website of the company. So that is a way of getting people in your groups to get back to your website. And then from there, you could use the Pixel, Facebook Pixel or Google Pixel or something else. So if you're running ads, then the Pixel's a big, that might be a topic all by itself, explaining that one to you guys. But just the idea of a pixel is, if you've ever been on Amazon, just window shopping through the website, and then all of a sudden you're on Facebook and the same thing pops up on your Facebook feed or your Twitter feed or something, that means that Amazon put a pixel, a code, 1x1 pixel size into your computer file, and that's your cookies basically. And now any site that you go to that they're paying advertising dollars for, the code to in your computer will already signal Facebook or Twitter or wherever else that they're going to start running this particular ad for this particular item to you because you already got pixeled on Amazon. So that's why you keep seeing it over and over and over again. That's a benefit of getting people from your groups over to your website. You can apply that pixel, and that pixel is code that eventually you could use for Facebook advertising and Google advertising as well. So there's plenty of companies that uses pixels. And the other thing that you can do there, and this is another service, if you will, is a lot of people do like having some sort of checklist or some sort of ebook or something that they could really take their time and digest the information that you're giving them. Or even a webinar, a free webinar is also great. So those are some of the things that you can offer if people are interested in that. And that again is taking them from your group over into your system. But now what the system is going to be is it's going to be a beefed up email system. Let's call it that. And truly, you get someone to give you their name and their email. You put that in your email mailing list, and mailing lists have gotten more and more sophisticated in a system called autoresponders. And from there, you do have a little bit more control of your interaction with this individual at any given time, as long as they're on your list. So that's a very important way to get people from being on LinkedIn and Facebook in your groups, more likely, not your company profiles. Those are a little bit different. But if you're doing a blog post or something and you say, a link to a resource related to this blog post is here, like I did one about the art of proposals, and it was on LinkedIn. I did a nice big old post and I shared it in many groups, and it was just basically the way that you would go about getting a proposal from your potential client and impress them through that process. So I wrote an article about the art of the proposal, and then at the end I gave a link to my actual proposal copy. So if you needed that, you go to sheldonprimus.com/proposal, and then you get a link of a template basically of my proposal. So in doing that, you download the template, but I get your I get your first name and email, and with the first name and the email, then there's a second email that goes out to you that says you agree that we're gonna protect your information, and we get to talk to you a little bit more. If that goes, then thumbs up. All right, cool, let's do this. We talk a little bit more. So that's how the system works, and it starts with the LinkedIn groups, the Facebook groups, the social media, getting outreach there. And once you do get someone in an email where it's, you guys are conversing back and forth, because sometimes in my emails, when I do somebody an update on OSHA standards or EPA regulations or anything like that, that's a bulk of what my newsletter information is, or telling them, hey, I'm going to be in this area if you want to meet up. It'll be cool. I'll love to meet up with you. I do a lot of that in my emails. So it's truly like that agreement that you got together that, hey, I'm doing this because I want to get to know you better, and I will protect your information. So I value that. And then you just deliver, talk to people, send them some emails, see how they're doing, ask questions. They'll email you back, and once you any chance I get and I'm going to help somebody, they'll email me a response to my newsletter, and I'll do some research right there and get that back. But the initial conversation sometimes would never have happened if I didn't create the company group with profiles and get those best, and then also any of the other Facebook likes and pages. That's actually helped too. So that's the idea. I did want to tell you that we're going to be in Denver, Colorado, coming in September. So if you went to NEOSTI, .org. So Neosti, NEOSTI.org /SafetyFM. Then you're going to see where we're going to be. So this is going to be a Safety FM roadshow. Me and Dr. J. Allen, we're going to be at different locations, and from time to time, we're going to have some actual guests that are going to pop in. And the setup for that is going to be the first 2 days will be myself. I'll do some compliance stuff. And the second 2 days is going to be Dr. J. Allen, who's going to talk about the human organization performance, HOP. And then at Friday, the very last day, what we'll do on Friday is we're just going to go ahead and have a roundtable of safety culture, safety compliance, and everything to that degree. So Denver, Colorado, September 23rd through the 27th. That's going to be at the Colorado Safety Association. So registration is open right now. Just go to neosti.org /SafetyFM. And that's where you're going to be able to register for this event.
Do you want to be a safety consultant? Listen to Dr. J. Allen of Safety FM give his experience after taking the Safety Consultant Blueprint course.
I have actually done research on different consultants and looked at different consulting courses and so on. There is a pretty fancy, very expensive consulting course that is out there. I have actually purchased the consulting course, was interested in it. It has good information, don't get me wrong. But you have a consulting course that really drives people onto focusing on safety and how to become a safety consultant. I will tell you, on your particular course, there was better information in that particular regards than the other consulting course that was more of a generalist form. But I felt like I got more information out of yours on you giving people direct path on what to do step by step. But I really think that you have a genuine good product there that can really assist people if they're interested in becoming a safety consultant.
Register for the Safety Consultant Blueprint at www.safetyconsultantblueprint.com. Enter code PODCAST for a special discount.
Welcome back. And just as a reminder, if you have not liked us or subscribed to this podcast, please do. And if you can, I would love for you to give me a review on Apple iTunes, because that's like one of the biggest places. But if you're not listening to Apple iTunes, then whatever you listen to, that'd be incredible if you can give me a review of what you think and some comments. All right, let's get back into the tip of the week. So the tip of the week is kind of an easy one, but it's still enough where I think it might do mentioning. So if you're using your phone, mobile device, or for LinkedIn and Facebook, you actually have different permissions than you do with other if you're on a mobile versus if you're on your laptop. So the desktop version has like all the features, full features of everything. And then the mobile version usually is a little bit stripped down. But in some cases, you do have a few extra things that will give you some leeway with your mobile device. So for instance, with LinkedIn specifically, generally on your desktop version, you're not going to be able to connect with someone outside of the second level of your first connection. So you get connections at first levels, connections at the second level, and then the third. Generally on the desktop version, you're not allowed to send them a connection request. Where on the mobile device, you can, as of now, but you can't do it that way. So that's also a resource for you. And so I would definitely start looking at least at the differences between the mobile version and the other one that you generally will see on your laptop or your desktop, and see what kind of differences there are there. And with Facebook, you do have to get several different apps in order to do the full feature you would get on the desktop. So you can do some features on the desktop on your mobile if you're using it in the browser versus the app, but you're probably going to end up having the Facebook page manager. That's its own app, Facebook itself. And then you'll probably end up having to have, the groups. So, and there's a few other things. So it does have its little differences on the Facebook side, but on the LinkedIn side, it's actually pretty easy. So fool around with it, and I think that should help you out. And just let me know. Just send me an email or look me up on LinkedIn. That'd be awesome. Good homework, right? Get on LinkedIn to get yourself all set up with your groups and your company page, and then send me a little message. So yeah, go ahead and do that. LinkedIn.com/n/Sheldon Primus. And that's how you get me. All right. Enjoy your week.
This podcast is being sponsored by safetyconsultantblueprint.com.
This episode has been powered by Safety FM.